Okay. I do hope that all of you are intelligent enough to realize that there's quite an age difference between here and there. They wanted me to sit down, but at my age I was afraid I might fall asleep. So, the legend of the candy cane, okay? And I hope it's something that all of us will learn something to tonight, okay? First of all, a story, rather than read it from book. In fact, when I get through, there's a beautifully illustrated book that's in our church library. And I'm doing part of it, so get it. The illustrations are beautiful, and but I hope I can cover the legend of the candy cane. Years and years ago, even before I was born, this fella came into this town. He had a horse and a buggy. And he came into the town, and the people saw him coming, and they had no idea who he was. And it was a small town, and he looked at the stores, and there was one store that was vacant. They had boarded it up. And he said, "That's the store that I want." And he got permission to take over that store and do what he was going to do. Now the people thought a lot of things. They were hoping it might be a doctor or a seamstress. I guess that's somebody that sews dresses. I'm not very familiar with that. Or something. But he started working in there, and the people began to hear sawing, pounding of nails. And they'd look in the window and they couldn't quite tell what's going to happen. And after several days, there was a counter there and there were some shelves. This little girl in town came and she knocked on the door. "Can I come in?" And he said, "Sure can." And she said, "Is there anything I can help you with?" "Wow, you are just in time. I got a big job for you to do." Wow. And he rolled out this, and she was afraid it was going to be a hardware store or a sports store or something like that. It was kind of out in the prairie. And he rolled in a wood cart, and he took the lid off for her, and it was a bunch of glasses, fancy glassware. And she started to take it out and take the papers off of it, and she put it on the shelf, and all she could think about was, there's going to probably be nails and screws going into these jars. And when she got them all on the shelf, he rolled out another box. And she opened it up. And it was candy. And he looked her in the eye, and he got real down and said, "You know what? This is going to be a candy store." Wouldn't you be pretty excited about that? This is going to be peppermint sticks, lemon drops, beautifully decorated jawbreakers, one of my favorites. That's why I don't have teeth. And all of that, and she put them all in the jars. And he said, then he rolled out another box, even a bigger box. And they opened the lid, and it was full of, didn't mean to drop it, candy cane. And she looked at it and she says, "What are we going to do with so many candy cane?" Well, he says, "I'm going to tell you a story about the candy cane." For those of you in front, you can see it real well. This is called the Christmas candy. What does that remind you of? What letter is it? Am I getting it wrong? Jesus? Okay. How about if I do it that way? What does that look like? Shepherd's staff. And you remember in the Bible, the shepherds were the first people to hear of Jesus' birth while they were tending their sheep. So there's the staff. And this little girl looked at it and said, "Okay, you got Jesus and you got that, but what is the red for?" He said, the red is, remember Jesus, when he died on the cross? Before he died, he suffered terribly And they whipped him, and they whipped him, and he shed his blood. And so the red reminds you of his suffering. Get it? What's the white for? Well, the Bible also says that if we give our lives to Jesus, give it to Jesus. He said, because of the blood he shed, we will be whiter than snow, pure snow. So we got Jesus, we got the staff, blood helps us to remind us of the blood that he lost because of us, and the white reminds us of the fact that because Jesus died for us, the blood can cleanse us from all unrighteousness, and someday we will be in his presence. So, the next time you pick up this little stick, this little candy cane, it's got a real story to it. And I thought about it. I remember once when I was a kid. I was a kid once, you know. Do I have to prove it? I remember my mom was in the kitchen, kept cooking, and I was in another room, and I said, "Mom, can I have a piece of candy?" Yes. "No, it's too close to supper. It'll ruin your appetite." All mothers say that. That's part of being a mother. And I said, "Oh, but Mom, when I eat this candy, I think of Jesus." There was a pause. "Nice try." "No." So the next time you pick up the candy, not only think of it as candy, but think of it as the fact that this is really the Christmas story. It goes beyond just baby Jesus, because baby Jesus died for you and I. The red signifies his blood, and the white that he can cleanse us from all unrighteousness. So, in the story, we see the fact that we see the miracle of his birth, the misery of his death, and the mercy of his love. All in one piece of candy. And you've given all these kids a big hand when they walk down. I'm not asking you to give me a big hand, but you know what? I think we need to give Jesus a big hand and his Father, okay? Give him a big hand, okay?